Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Coming up today on Atlanta and Company, our favorite stylist is in the house showing us ladies the hottest trends that we need to look cool this summer. Plus, we're taking years off your face without surgery. It's a new technology that's tightening and toning the skin. Evie from Nuvo Clinic is here to show us how it works. And we are heating up the kitchen with the Food Network's Nikki Bell. Food, fashion, fun. It's all right here, right now on Atlanta and Company. Good morning, everyone. This is Atlanta and Company. I'm Christine Pilar. It's so great to be with you. Having and maintaining a loving relationship can be difficult. In fact, many of you may think you are in one, but in reality, the relationship could be headed for disaster. In Amy Lewis Baer's new book, From Charm to Harm, the guide to spotting, naming, and stopping emotional abuse in intimate relationships, she empowers you to protect yourself and take charge of your life. And we're thrilled because she joins us now with what signs to look out for. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Such an important topic.
Yes.
We know, we hear on the news the stories of physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, a whole different ball of wax, so to speak, right?
It is a whole different ball of wax because emotional abuse gets grouped in with physical abuse and it gets lost. But emotional abuse is a whole nother entity in itself. There are a lot of subtleties in emotional abuse, and often people don't realize that they're in an emotionally abusive relationship because they don't know how to recognize and describe what's happening.
Right. And we're going to get to some signs in a minute, but I want to talk about your firsthand experience with a prince that actually turned out to be not so prince-like. So tell us about that. And was that the impetus for writing the book?
Yes, is when Prince Charming turns to Prince Harming. And let me also say that women can be abusive also.
Sure,
but for to make it simple, we'll just refer to the man as the abusive person. So I had my own experience with that in my early adult relationships, and it really drove me to want to help other people with it. So I left a career in business and returned to school to become a psychotherapist so I could help other people.
Good for you.
It was that impactful for me. And that's really the reason why I wrote the book, because over the years, I've had many, mostly women, coming to me, and they tell me the same stories over and over about their relationship issues. And they complain of anxiety and depression, and what I found after questioning is that they were in emotionally abusive relationships, many of them were, and they didn't know it.
Wow. And let's talk about the signs. There are lots of signs that, as you mentioned, people may, it's probably a slow thing where maybe something is said and it makes them feel bad, and then suddenly they just get used to it, that kind of thing.
Yes, well, that's right. Prince Charming turns to Prince Harming. Actually, Prince Charming is always Prince Harming. He's just that good at hiding his intentions.
Yes.
Yes, and what happens is that Prince Charming has a deep-seated need to control people, and that comes out in manipulation, in emotional abuse tactics, and the person on the receiving end of that doesn't really realize what's happening.
Right. And let's get into some of the signs now.
Yes. In my book, I have about 80 emotional abuse tactics. And what I found with the women that came in to see me is I heard the same stories over and over. And I really felt a responsibility as a psychotherapist to put names and definitions to these behaviors that were so hurtful. And that's why I wrote the book. It's a comprehensive guide. It tells who abuses, why they abuse, who gets abused. It has a language to describe, to recognize and describe what's happening in your relationship. It talks about protection, treatment. There are quizzes as well to determine whether you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. But what I'd like to do is just share a few of the emotional abuse tactics that I have in the book.
Okay.
One of them is but, love. So that is, I love you, but you have to change. And the changes are normally very unreasonable.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't know, lose weight, stop saying stupid things, do more for me, spend less time on your own, things like that are just unreasonable. Another one is Jekyll and Hyde. That is abusive people who live in two worlds. On the outside, they have a shiny exterior. They're affable, they're personable, they're so charming. But when they get home, their darker side comes out, and their spouse or partner bears the brunt of that darker character. Another thing that happens is other blind. It's like colorblind, but it's other blind. You're blind to the humanity of other people. You don't have empathy for them.
Would you characterize them as most people that go through, they're emotional abusers, are they narcissists? Would you say that?
Well, not all narcissistic people are emotional abusers, but the personality disorder of narcissism, it sort of causes you to believe that other people are there to serve your needs.
Right.
So narcissistic people can be emotionally abusive, but not necessarily.
Okay.
The other thing is some people are sociopathic. That is more common than people realize. They don't feel empathy for other people.
Right.
And so they don't have any regard for the way their behavior affects others.
Doctor, we only have about a minute.
Yes.
Why would you say that women are staying in these types of relationships?
That's a great question, and that's really a major part of the problem, is they feel stuck. They are being, their self-esteem is being whittled away by their partner on a regular basis. And they're so worn down, they're made to believe that they're defective in some way. And so they think, well, maybe I'm the problem.
Right.
But it's emotional abuse happening in their relationship, and they are handing over their happiness.
I hate that we're out of time, because this is so good, and I know it's so relatable to so many people out there, but I just want to tell you, From Charm to Harm is currently in bookstores and online as we speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine.
I appreciate it. Such an important topic. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. More Atlanta & Company after the break.